Welcome. I hope you enjoy the conversation you're about to see between me and another comedian about religion and comedy. These are conversations I'm calling disorganized religion. God bless. And for those atheists out there, may nothing await you after this life.
Welcome, nerds. I hope you're all doing well. We are in the midst of the COVID-19. We're just deep in it now. It's never going to end. April 30th is the new end date. And there is no better way to celebrate the extension of the hunkering than to have the fantastic and mighty Zach Mendez, the Hunker King, on Disorganized Religion today. Thank you for joining me, Zach.
Thank you so much for having me, Seth. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. So tell us about this Instagram phenomenon that you have begun.
So I know for some people the hunker started at different times, but for me, it was right when the NBA canceled the Jazz game I was going to watch that night. Yeah. When that happened, I realized that this was actually going to be a thing. And so I started saying, we're going to have to be hunkered down. And I was just I was so amused by the word as I kept saying it with my roommate Raj over and over and over again. I thought it'd be funny to have kind of a one man trying to run a radio station from his house that's being filmed. But the radio, there's no radio. It's not going anywhere. He tries to fill all the positions of a news station, right? He tries to comment on fashion. And it's kind of him being shorthanded is the joke. But
I love it. Well, it's like an old-timey radio show kind of feel, where there's one guy or two guys in the box doing all voices for, a bunch of different callers and all that nonsense. It's got a fun feel to it.
Yeah, it is not fun for my roommates now because I've never used iMovie. And so I was doing take after take after take after take, like in the morning being like, good. And they had it. So I offered to buy them headphones so I could keep doing it. So it's on a hiatus currently. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
But no, things are okay over here now.
Yeah, good. So it's only 1 or 2 minute clips, right? It's not.
Yeah. That's all it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I wasn't personally missing anything.
It's the height of silliness and stupidity. Yeah.
It's great. It's very great. And the white tie news is beautiful.
Black tie news, Seth.
The black tie news.
Yeah. You're home for the elegant truth.
Yeah. I love it. How long have you been doing stand-up, Zach?
I started doing stand-up in December of last year. So not counting the quarantine time, like 15 months. I'm like a baby, I guess. So you still say the months. 15 months. Right. When you're still so young, you say months. 15 months.
Yeah. I wish we counted all age in months, honestly. Then people would feel so old, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You're like, what do you got? 390? Yeah, I got 360.
You just lose track after a while.
No big deal.
Who cares anymore?
So 15 months.
15 months. Gotcha. So what drew
you?
Acting.
Acting for about 5 before that. So.
Got it. Oh, so you transitioned pretty quick from acting to stand-up.
Well, yeah. I mean, I still, for the most part, I do commercials and I still go out for auditions and whatnot. I'll get a bit part here and there. So I still do that a lot, but I've just always wanted to do stand-up.
Is that right?
And I tried improv and I was horrid at it.
Really?
I did 2 years of being horrid at improv, or maybe I just never went consistent enough.
Yeah.
But after I went for the first, after the first 50 open mics, I was sold on stand-up.
But it took 50 before you were like, no, this is where I want to be.
Well, it's the only way. It's the only thing you can do where you can get better anytime you want to. You're not on anybody else's schedule. I'm not waiting for some improv group in Encino to gather in Jonathan's garage and the teacher, Tabitha to show up.
No, that is true.
It's too exhausting.
So you always wanted to do stand-up? Did you grow up watching stand-up or?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I wanted to be, I grew up watching George Carlin was the first thing stand-up I ever saw. And I was like 9. I didn't really understand it, but I kept watching it over and over again. And I really enjoyed it. And I always did things like acting that got a chance to perform, but I never had to write my own jokes and tell my own jokes. That seemed very scary to me for a while. And I think everything else, whether it be writing plays or acting, was kind of foreplay to stand up.
Yeah.
It felt like, finally.
Gotcha. So what is it about stand-up that you like? What drew you to it, do you think?
The simplicity, right? It's just you and a mic and a stage. And a specific amount of time in which you have to communicate whatever you so choose.
Yeah.
And I think that challenge, as well as the simplicity of it, is what you. How long have you been doing stand-up, by the way? I didn't ask you, and I don't know.
So it's been what? I think I'm in my 3rd year now.
See, I would have said many more years or many more months.
No, yeah, I'm relatively new as well at all this.
Your kids are enjoying the shit out of Splash, by the way.
They are so much, and I wish they were in bed, but I only have so much power.
It's funny. You have your kids downstairs watching Splash, and I have my roommates playing poker in the other virtually with a bunch of people. Yeah,
sure. Now my son and I got a little poker set with chips and cards, and my son loves it. He's 5 and knows all the hands. He's got his own strategy down. It's ridiculous.
Now, I might be jumping out of turn with this question. If I have a question, here's a question.
Yeah, go for it. This won't count as your what's the deal with Mormonism question. No.
Can you gamble?
No.
So, but you can play the game and discuss it mentally, academically, right?
Yeah. I mean, we play it, for fun. We have chips. There's no buy-in when I'm playing with my 5-year-old, and if I were to ever play, it would never be with a buy-in. Okay. Let's just play for fakesies, huh? Just for fun.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I might have a follow-up on that later, but please. I don't want to do that. Yeah. Okay.
Where are you from? Did you do all stand-up in LA then?
Yeah. I mean, I did stand-up when I was in college. I was at college, University of Virginia, and I did playwriting, and then I did stand-up, and I did 2 shows. And I moved to Miami, and I couldn't find a single place to do stand-up. Every time I showed up, it was a bar that was actually, having reggae night.
Yeah.
So I got really discouraged, and it wasn't until I came out here that I started doing stand-up again. I would always stop and start. You go out and you write one joke, and it gives you enough confidence to go to the open mic. They used to have an open mic at the Comedy Store outside. I went to that and told a joke about books. And just the looks of disappointment in the audience members stayed with you. And so you're like, you know what? I'm not going to do that for another half of a year.
The outside, fully lit.
4:00 in the afternoon. Buses are going by.
Yeah. I mean, that's brutal. Outdoor comedy is brutal.
But I didn't know any better. I didn't know where I could go and get a chance to. Yeah.
Sure. So now, have you done any virtual shows or virtual open mics during the hunkering?
No, I haven't, but we do play poker, and we all get on Skype, and I try to make people laugh. So I kind of use that. That's what I was going to say is if you play $5 for a buy-in in poker, and you treat it like an open mic because you're on the Zoom, you're just talking, trying to make people laugh, and whether you win or lose the material to you, it's the same thing as going to mic. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just saying, is that a loophole, do you think?
I don't think it is. Not if I'm keeping the winnings.
Okay, quick. Okay.
I could probably give back the winnings, and then I would feel better about it.
Roger. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Because I would win, right? That's clearly the assumption that I'm making.
You have the look of somebody who'd be very good at poker.
My wife claims I'm terrible at it, but we played once with torn up pieces of paper when we were dating, and she slaughtered me. But it's because I had no idea that she never folded. She just never folded.
That's adorable, by the way.
That's her strategy.
That's romantic and adorable.
Yeah. Now that I know that that's her strat, it goes a little bit smoother now. I know I can pick the hands and reel her in if I need to, because she's not going to fold. She's not going to
let her bet into you. Exactly.
But you got to play 1 or 2 hands, get a read on your opponents, and anyway, so it took us a while, but I'm there now. So Virginia, you started. Do you count that technically, or do you kind of wait until you really made it to LA to count the 15 months?
The months didn't count until I did them consecutively. I feel as though stop and start. If you do 6 open mics and then you don't do another open mic for a year, it's gonna be tough to build experience, right?
Right.
So I don't count it until it was Miss Maisel. I was watching Marvelous Miss Maisel, which made me do my first open mic.
I lose a little respect.
I don't care. Dude, that show is amazing. Okay, first of all, Tony Shalhoub is towering in that show. And Midge Maisel played beautifully by Miss Brosnahan, I believe.
Yeah. Now
she made stand-up look a lot of fun.
Yeah, her dad's the guy who played Monk, right?
Tony Shalhoub, yes.
Yeah, Tony Shalhoub. I mean, he's fantastic. But, my mother-in-law and we get along very well, but we got along even better before Marvelous Mrs. Maisel came out. And then when it came out, you know, I'd already been doing stand-up for a bit. So she thought like, oh, this is going to be a great way for us to connect. I'll watch this. She loved it. She called me up and was like, oh, Seth, do you love Marvelous Mrs. Maisel? And I had to be like, I hate it. And I think it broke her heart a little bit. So
a lot of people hate it. I've had this argument with several people that hate it vehemently. Yeah, and I'm fine. I there's room for that too. Sure.
Well, you know, that's the one thing about stand-up that I really like is I am naturally not a very confident person in my own opinions of subjective things.
Yeah.
Right. If there's a fact, I like to know it, and then I don't worry about if other people don't. You know what I mean? Like, don't argue with me about a fact. We can argue about a fact. That's fine. But with subjective things, I get very insecure about my own opinions on these things. And then doing stand-up, that's helped me be more secure about, other people can disagree, but that's because they're idiots. You know?
Exactly.
They don't see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you started in LA, technically. That's really where
in
you
Los Angeles.
Yeah, you began and have done all stand-up in LA then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, consistently. Gotcha. So what was your first show like?
It was the Belly Room. It was a bringer show at the Belly Room.
Hey.
We
all have to do it, you know?
Yep.
Which show was it? Was it with, you don't have to name drop if you don't want to. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
It was
how did you like your experience?
Friday night show. I had a very good first experience. Yeah. I had been working for about, at that point, what was 3 or 4 months on the same 5 minutes over and over and over and over and over, like a madman. And I was doing little else. And so I felt really good about the 5 minutes going into it. And I got laughs. Yeah. You know, I didn't bring the place down, but I got laughs.
Yeah.
And that probably felt, man, that was one of the more enjoyable nights of my life.
Yeah.
You know, because before that I had little evidence that I deserved to ask for your attention for 5 minutes, you know, in that capacity, writing and delivering your own jokes. So that was really, really heartening. It's like, okay, I can do this for a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was my first show. And then, you know, ever since.
Stop. Has it really been that bad ever since?
No, I say that. No, they haven't been ever since. They've been different and wonderful.
Yeah.
I've gotten much. Well, you know, I think at the beginning, you're very concerned about the crowd's response. A lot of your self-worth is in the throats of the crowd, whether or not they give you that vibration or not. And then at some point you realize how unhealthy that is and how unfun that is.
Well, and inaccurate. Right? It's not even, I just think it's inaccurate because, I mean, it'd be one thing if we were selling theaters and they all came to see us and then we didn't do well. I think that's more accurate when you're basing it on audience reaction than doing a bringer show at the Belly Room or doing some random open mic or doing some other show in a bar, you know, because they're there to see whoever it is they're there to see, or they don't even know stand-up is happening.
Exactly.
And so if you can win them over, that's a great indicator. But if you're not crushing in that room, I don't feel like that's evidence that you're terrible, you know?
No. And so I stopped, I think that helped me stop wondering what you want so much. Hey, what do they want to hear? What do they want to hear? You know?
That
kind of thought process.
Right.
So that was a really big moment for me. But it's fun to now know I'm not as nervous performing in front of as many people. That makes any sense.
Good. Yeah. No, that's great. So let's talk about a night that you sort of chase, you know, there's an audience reaction that you sort of live to top, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I want to let's start first though. So think about the great night that you're trying to relive again and do better than. But I first want to talk about a bomb. Has there been a memorable bomb for you?
Okay. So this could be, I think this would be defined by a third party as a bomm.
Okay.
It would be defined as my biggest bomb. I refuse to see it as a bomb.
All right.
And we discussed this, I believe.
Yeah.
This was the first time I was ever at the Improv. Tuesday, right?
Oh, yeah. When they did the open mic.
They did the open mic. in the main room. And at that point, I didn't want to go there because I didn't want to I didn't feel as though I wanted to perform with those people. But all the people I wanted to be friends with were going to go. So I said, oh, I'll just go and I won't get picked.
Sure.
And I got picked.
Yeah.
You know? So I was like, okay, I'm just going to do my, you know, my Spanish character bit that I do where I pretend to be my father and I talk like these. It's, you know, you either like it or you don't.
Yeah.
And then in the halfway through, I'm going to break and do another joke that I think will be funny. And I was getting what I thought I was basically bombing in my Spanish father. And then I switched over and I was like talking like this. And I was like, just kidding, guys. I'm not from Spain. I just came from improv. And I was just setting up the other joke. And on improv, the rain of booze set.
Oh yeah.
The rain of booze.
Yeah.
I can still hear them in my soul today.
I was there. And it was profound. It was profound.
It opened up a portal to hell, I think.
It's hilarious. Yeah.
It was very funny.
Yeah.
Now to me. After that, I was shook. I was like, God,
yeah.
Do they not like me? Am I hated?
Well, there is definitely, as I've gotten more and more into stand-up, there is definitely a stigma that I did not know existed between stand-up and improv.
Yeah.
And I don't think it goes improv to stand-up. I think it is just stand-up to improv.
Yeah, there's no animosity from the improv community.
No, I mean, improv people are so nice and supportive and yes, Andy.
Sweethearts, every one of them.
And stand-ups are like, get that Winnie the Pooh crap out of here. We do not want the happy-go-lucky.
And so I never knew if it was the mention of improv, the breaking of the character, or me. It could have been, I think, as a tornado of all three.
I think it was mostly just two.
The two.
Yeah.
The breaking of the character, the mention of improv.
Yeah.
So that was that's
one to remember. That's a great one. Yeah.
Okay.
And then a memorable one on the upside, on the good.
The upside. Well, I did the Ice House, the second stage of the Ice House, the lovely and kind Dave McNary show.
Yeah,
and it was it was 50 people there, 60 people. It was a good crowd.
Yeah.
And I did, start with the Spanish character and I switched. And it didn't go as bad. It went quite well. Yeah, it went quite well, the whole set.
It's because normal people just support art. They are not anyhow, go on.
No, but you're exactly right. But it was kind of it felt a red crowd, a more Republican-y crowd. So I finished my set and I feel as I did really well. And a woman come up to me and she goes, "I liked it better when you were the Puerto Rican man," and just walked away. I thought, she liked the other one better. So.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So where are you from?
I'm from Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, and then right after I moved to Miami right after college, and I was a teacher there for 4 years, and that's when I found a ad on Craigslist to find a manager in LA.
Oh, is that right? And you pursued that?
I pursued a Craigslist ad to Fort Lauderdale from Miami. Yes, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
That's amazing. You've got a lot of faith. Zach.
Don't I look like the type of individual who pursues Craigslist ad? Yeah.
I mean, no and yes. I guess at the same time.
No. But yes.
And you said your dad is he a Spaniard? Cuban?
My father's from Spain.
Spain.
He's from Galicia, which is the northwest of Spain. And he came here in the late 60s and then eventually married my mother, who is a Jew from Richmond, Virginia.
No kidding.
Yeah, and he was 36 when they got married and my mom was 18, which was like a big to-do in the Richmond community at the time, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like a big to-do anywhere.
Yeah, and a foreigner nonetheless.
Yeah, right. That's amazing. So you speak Spanish, grew up speaking Spanish?
I grew up speaking some Spanish. I have a very good accent, but I had but it'd be funny because I could respond to you with an excellent accent, hola, and you'll continue Spanish and I'll have no idea. But
it's got to be killer in LA then.
No, but I learned how to speak Spanish because I got a Spanish girlfriend, and that's really the only way. Because my father, we didn't really speak Spanish to each other when I was growing up, and so I know his accent really well, and that's about it.
So how old is your girlfriend? Is she 14? Just to keep the ratio alive, or no?
My current girlfriend is my age. My current girlfriend is my age.
I just wasn't sure how. I wasn't sure how far you followed in your father's footsteps.
No, not that closely. Not that closely.
Well, good for
Not
you.
at all.
Good for you.
Thank you.
So now, are either of your parents religious?
My father was raised very Catholic in Catholic schools, and my mother was raised Jewish. But neither of them would you would call devout or practicing. In any way, no.
So did you grow up in Catholic? Like, did you go to Catholic school?
I went to what would be called a more Christian school, but I was raised Jewish. My mother's Jewish and my grandmother's Jewish. So culturally and religiously, I'm Jewish. It goes, through the maternal line.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm a Jew. And my father just kind of put down the whole Catholic thing, and he kind of looks like a Jew, so he just went with it. Yeah. He fit in great at synagogues. He held the Torah.
Did he convert to Judaism?
No. So there was, before they got married, there was an issue because my Jewish grandmother was like, wait a second, my daughter can't be marrying a non-Jew. He went to a rabbi, and apparently, this is what the rabbi said.
I don't think it's necessary for the man.
Yeah, I think it's. But the rabbi said his name is Mendez Picon, and apparently, the Picons, those types of Jews, were Jewish in Spain before the Inquisition. So he's like basically he's probably Jewish, but he just, converted during the Inquisition because he was getting tortured. Not my father, but his line,
Right. So he's still actually Jewish.
So my father just went with the fact that he was Jewish.
Yeah. Oh, that's
like,
cool.
I'm Jewish now. Okay. I guess so.
It's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So did you grow up going to temple then, or just not at all?
Temple.
Yeah.
I would go to temple, synagogue.
Yeah.
Up until my grandfather died. And he was kind of the person who made us go to temple. And then the Jewish side of my family and my family had a big to-do, a whole fight, a little Donnybrook, a dust-up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they hated my parents. So they just booked it to Vermont. And so we just did our version of Judaism from then on, and we didn't go to places to do it. Things like, like doing Hanukkah, not like every night, but you know what? Like, hey, we're going to do the first night, the middle night, and the last night. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
At Passover, we don't read the book, but we do hide the matzah. Things like this.
Yeah.
Are you following me with the Jewish traditions?
No. So I know that there are 8 nights. I just don't know why you'd pick the first, middle, and last for Hanukkah.
Just because, beginning, middle, and end, the story. Just because, there's story. All you do on Hanukkah is you say the Hanukkah blessing, you light the candle, and you light the other candle. And every night you do the same thing. Yeah. After 6 nights, it's absolutely exhausting. It's ridiculous.
Is that right?
And my mom can't take it anymore. She is headed up to here with the multiple nights of cooking and stuff like that. And my father doesn't have time for that. Yeah. And so ended up, now we'll just do it one night. Hanukkah night.
And that's it.
That's it.
So is it typical to go through the story in Maccabees about, the lights, or no?
Not on Hanukkah. That's it's a lightweight holiday. I would say on Passover, most definitely. Passover, you stay at home and you read the book. And on Yom Kippur, I think a lot of families are going to synagogue to listen to the cult, to atone for sins. But Hanukkah is a lightweight holiday in my small understanding of the Jewish faith. Very lightweight.
Gotcha. And what do you celebrate on Yom Kippur again? Is that Day of Atonement or no?
Yeah, you're celebrating very little. You don't say Happy Yom Kippur. I made the mistake of doing that one time. Saying Happy Yom Kippur is saying like Happy 9/11 anniversary.
Yeah, not, right.
You can't do it.
You're commemorating.
So you fast on Yom Kippur, right? Uh-huh. So what you say is have an easy fast.
Oh, okay.
Because you're supposed to be really doing some serious reflection about the bad you've done, the bad things that you have done this past year. And so it shouldn't be necessarily a joyous affair. It should be a somber one.
Got it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of reflection and self-improvement.
Yeah. And I actually go to the Synagogue for Performing Arts on Yom Kippur, and they have a beautiful service with a harp player who plays a song called the Kol Nidre. Uh-huh. It's basically a song made to make you think of all your worst things. I swear to God, it is the most whining, stringing, old Russia song.
Yeah.
And Yeah, it makes you feel super guilty.
Interesting. Yeah.
They play it 3 times, and then you're atoned.
Got it. A little bit. And you're good for the next 50 days or whatever it is. The next year.
I have such a loose grasp on this religion. That's just my experience.
So do you identify as Jewish religiously still?
Sure. I mean, this was a big argument between me and my non-Jewish friends, because the school I went to only had about 6 Jews out of 1,200 or whatever it was.
Oh, wow.
Something like that. And so they would often say I'm not Jewish because I would always fluctuate on my stance on God. And I was trying to explain to them that Judaism is both a race and religion.
Yeah.
Both kind of tied up.
Right.
You know, I'm a non-practicing Jew who has other ideas about our creation.
Yeah.
That's how I describe myself.
So when you say your ideas of God would fluctuate between, I mean, what is the Jewish idea of God? And then what would your idea of God be?
Again, from my limited understanding, the Jewish idea of God is expressed in the Old Testament, right? He created the chosen people, the Hebrews, and he is both, he is one, and I don't think we have a hell, right?
Yeah. I think
we've got the commandments in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
Those are important to us.
Yeah.
And the Jewish God is one that you have, I don't know, he's the same. I think it's the same God as the Christian God. I think it's like Pepsi and Coke. I think it's the same exact God without the hell. And without all the stuff he does in the New Testament, and without the Son.
Right.
It's like God before he had a kid.
Right. Okay.
You know?
Got it.
Bachelor God.
And are you still, do you still ascribe to the idea of waiting for a Messiah or no?
No, and that's just because I'm impatient. No.
Like the one defining characteristic of the Jewish people.
It's on, and I can't even tell you whether it's on Passover or Yom Kippur, but we leave a table, and I think it's on Passover. We leave a seat open at the table.
Yeah, for Elijah.
Yeah. You know, which I always thought was, you know, some see it as optimistic. I see it as delusional. I don't think he's coming. You know what I mean? It's like, I always thought that was, but no, I don't. I'm not. That's not my version of God. No, I think the Judeo-Christian version of a singular, separate God is also not in line with what I believe currently.
Okay.
But that's the place that I came from. I think for a long time, up until maybe I was 11 or 12. That's what I did believe, in a singular, separate God.
Okay.
But you know, everybody gets, like, my sister got bar mitzvahed, my brother got bar mitzvahed. In the age of 13, for some reason, I told my parents I didn't want to get bar mitzvahed.
Oh, okay.
Because like, you become a man. I didn't have hair in my balls, and so like, why am I going to get bar mitzvahed? It seemed ridiculous to me, patently absurd. So I avoided that, and then I kind of started thinking about other religions and other versions of God that might have suited me better.
Sure. So what was your shopping around experience like? What kind of other ideas of God attracted you?
Well, we had religion class when I was in, I think, almost a freshman or a sophomore. I studied Kabbalah, which is Jewish mysticism, for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And then we studied Buddhism to some extent. And then we take a really deep dive into Christianity. Yeah. Which was great. I really do. I have a lot of respect for many religions, and Christianity being one of them. Yeah. And I really enjoyed that. But then we had to write a paper, and in that paper, I created my own religion when I was younger. Oh. It was called Scientific Jewish Optimism.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So what were the tenets of your faith? Oh my gosh.
Nice. That was awesome.
Scary.
Tenets of my faith. Where is that? By science, we can understand our world better.
Okay.
Right? And through practice of the Jewish moral system that's already there.
The 10 Commandments.
I didn't have to write anything else, Seth. It's already there. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. If it works.
By practicing of that, you can know yourself better.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then, optimism, if you're able.
Yeah.
Which is just like, so it was a simple one. It was a simple one. That didn't hold on very long. And that was right before I went to college, which, of course, I went through my hardcore atheist phase.
Sure.
You have to, right?
I mean, I guess. I don't know. I never really went through that phase.
No.
But I can understand it. I can understand going through it, wanting to explore that idea. So what about, I mean, okay, so what about now? So you were atheist in college, and now where do you fall, do you think?
I do believe that God is a verb and not a noun.
Okay. So what do you mean by that?
Well, when I first moved to Los Angeles, it was the first time in my life that I had been separated from all of my family, because at least in Miami, I was living with my brother. But now in LA, I was like 3,000 miles away from from all of them. And I had very few friends.
Yeah.
And so I was experiencing intense loneliness for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And in a little bit, and so I would, the way I would go to sleep at night is I would think very hard about hoping that good things happened for all of my family members.
Okay. Yeah.
Just think about, I hope my brother tomorrow at the hospital, all his patients get better. I hope my sister's students learn something. I hope my father's patients get better. I hope my mom, all her animals are happy, or whatever it is.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
And I realized that I was praying.
Yeah.
Just not to a person.
Yeah.
And I had made fun, especially just coming from kind of like a collegey time in my life, of the act of prayer for so long.
Right.
And that made me reassess religion very seriously.
Was there a catalyst, like a turning point, a catalytic moment that moved you back to this sort of focused meditation prayer?
I don't think it was a catalytic moment. I mean, it was just, I was living in freaking Van Nuys, which, first of all,
so you were lonely and desperate.
I was lonely. I was in Van Nuys. My mattress was on the ground.
Yeah.
I hadn't gotten my foothold here in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I was a much more immature version of myself. So I just found myself in a lot of tough situations I hadn't fared before. And
gotcha.
Yeah. And I just think, being weak.
Yeah.
I think often a lot of the stories that I've in the Bible are about people finding God in moments of weakness.
Sure. Yeah.
And I don't think that that's to say that is that religion, preys upon the weak. I just think we're more easily. It's okay. You can yawn during the crescendo of my genius point regarding religion.
Sorry.
It's not a big.
Go on.
Please.
No, I'm listening.
I just found a use for it for the first time. It's like I used to be anti-technology. Like, oh, Dad, I'm going to call you. I don't text. And now I'm like, I don't want to Skype with you. Let's come over. Let's hang out.
Right.
And now I have no choice but to, update my computer and use technology. So that made me reassess it. And now I believe that, we are part of God. You and I.
Okay.
I think Christians say that you were made in God's image. I say that we are all made of God.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you believe in an afterlife or no?
I believe, I guess not in, there's a phrase that says, I think we own the energy that runs through us than a light bulb owns the electricity that runs through it.
Okay.
Which makes me feel like an afterlife in this form, no.
Yeah.
But do I do all my components go back and continue to be in this world? Yes. Yes.
And so there is something eternal about us.
Yes, and it's what we're comprised of. I mean, you're 14.5 billion years old as far as we can tell, right?
Yeah, the stardust.
That's what we are, baby.
Yeah,
we're stardust.
Yeah. I love it.
We're stardust.
Yeah.
And we're ancient in that sense. So we return to that. That's what we've always been. I don't think there's an afterlife where we have wants and desires. I think wanting is a very mortal thing. Wanting is a human thing. It's a very animal thing.
Yeah.
I don't think eternal thing.
Gotcha. So when you talk about God, then you're not talking about a person or an individual.
No, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think God is bipedal. Right.
Is it like a floating octopus or?
No, but the octopus. Come on, if there was a representation of God that we have on this earth, would not be the
pretty
octopus.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on. Octopus can eat their own tentacles and grow them back. That's amazing.
It is. They can fit into tiny, tiny spaces, be enormous.
Well, I guess that's actually what I'm struggling with right now, because I think in my return to trying to find my religion, is that an REM song that I just accidentally? Oh yeah, losing my religion.
Losing. Yeah. You already did that. You already did that.
I just realized that when I was atheist, I was just rejecting all the answers that I was given and is saying that, oh, that's why God doesn't exist, because these 5 answers I've looked at very briefly don't look good to me.
Yeah.
So that the whole idea of a higher power is completely stupid. I realized how faulty that was. And so the best of as I sit here thinking about it, yes, God is not a separate, that's what I mean. I don't think God is a separate thing. I think we are all part of God.
Right. Okay. So it sounds like you sort of ascribe to more of a nirvana-ish idea of sort of coming back to God at the end, or is...
We die, we go into the earth, and we get to experience the blissful nothingness that we've experienced in the first 14.5 billion years of our life.
Got it. Okay. So it's before birth. That's the theory you ascribe to.
Oh, yeah, that we have
just
been
non-consciousness, sort of nothing.
Non-consciousness, nothing.
Yeah.
Black, yes.
Got it. So do you find that idea comforting? Because to me, that idea is not very comforting. But for some, it is, and I can understand that.
I do. Well, one of the things I say to myself before I'll go on stage is 14.5 billion years.
Interesting.
Just to remind myself that I've been around here for a while. Yeah. We all have. And I'm going to be around here for a while. And this is a moment in a very, very, very long span of time. Whatever this moment happens to be.
But it's not from what I gather from what you're saying, the moment, though, is this is all you know. Because you don't know before, and there will be no after that you will be conscious of. So this is...
What do you mean I don't know before? I know before.
No, okay, tell me a memory of before
Exactly.
Birth.
Because memories, so humans, right? Consciousness is comprised of our memories of our pain. That's how we get our identity, right?
And
our
joy.
Mostly pain, right? Right. I ascribe to the
Judaism coming out of you.
No. I ascribe to the Westworld version of consciousness, the bicameral mind, right? One that completely gains its consciousness by its moments of pain.
Okay.
Right? That's a very human identity.
Yeah.
So if you just don't remember an identity that you had before once.
But if there's nothing that you remember before and there's nothing you will remember after, then this is all you will remember. This is all you will know. So that moment is infinitely important. It's not just a little blip.
This is all I will know, but this is not all I will be. And I think we're obsessed with knowing and having things in our head and controlling.
I think I don't know, maybe so. I feel like we're more obsessed. And my idea of the afterlife is more centered around experience.
What do you mean experience?
Well, I mean having experiences, right? So I believe we will be conscious after this life.
In Seth form.
Right. I will still be me.
And and it'll be an upgraded life. It'll be like life.
Yeah.
But better.
Yeah.
Less pain.
Less pain. Right.
Depending
on how good of a person we try to be and are here, less pain after. Yeah.
On a sliding scale?
Yeah.
Very seriously.
Yeah, very seriously.
It's done that. The ledger is that specific and that numerical.
No, I don't think it's necessarily a specific, tit for tat, God is keeping score. I think it's more, so in Mormonism, we believe that there are tiers in heaven, levels, if you want, what we call degrees of glory. So those who are not very good people here on this earth will actually go to the lowest level of heaven. And hell for Mormonism is relatively very small. Very few people go to the traditional idea of hell in Mormonism.
So almost everybody gets to go to heaven. It's just you don't get to go to the top one.
Right. And in Mormonism, the very top one is man and woman married together forever and making worlds and other spirit children to go down to those worlds and take on physical form and do what we do right here.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So for me, it's about experiences after this life, things that we will remember after this life. And in Mormonism, we believe we will also gain memory of before this life, after this life. So I think experiences are incredibly important. And if you can't have memory, then what is the experience? And maybe it's just, my understanding of what you're saying is just limited given what we call time and experience in this life. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. And also what I'm saying about what I believe is completely incomplete. So it's very difficult. You're trying to stab at it and poke at it. I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. And that's fair.
Because currently I ascribe to, I made my own religion again, and it's kind of a joke, but it's not really a joke. It's called the Church of Doubt, right?
Okay.
And we
have DAO?
Doubt.
Oh, doubt. I thought you said Tao. Okay, like Taoism. Okay.
Yeah.
Like or TAO, but yeah, doubt. Okay.
Doubt, like the band, the early
like No Doubt.
Band. Like No Doubt. That's exactly.
Yeah,
No Doubt.
Yeah.
The Church of Doubt has 2 tenets.
Okay.
The first tenet is I don't know if there's an afterlife.
Yeah.
But we'll worry about that when we get there.
Sure. Fair enough.
Right. It's just, and then the second one is
you
have to see the car in order to call shotgun.
Okay.
And then everything after that, we're just amending as we go along. Because I do believe that that doubt in searching is a religion of its own.
Mm-hmm.
And because I do believe that certainty usually is the seed of all the bad things that does happen. It's the seed of a lot of really good things too.
Yeah.
But certainty has led to some of the most heinous things that have occurred on this earth. So
So do you believe that there is a devil or a negative force counteracting whatever sort of God force you believe in? That I would assume is for the ultimate good, but maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, do you within you have thoughts that are impure?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I do too all the time. Right. So of course there is.
Yeah.
Of course there's right. We know that we're able to see our own thoughts and see, wait a second, that thought is out of place with my morals and my principles.
Sure.
So for me to say that, no, there's no negative force, well, it's within me. So that's the only
okay.
Yeah. So I'm very aware of the devil inside me. The
Yeah.
devil that says that I'm better than people.
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or form, the devil that says that I should have something that somebody else has, or that they shouldn't have it.
Yeah. They don't deserve it. Or
I deserve more, or I deserve less. Yeah, I think there's a devil inside me, and I think there's a God inside me.
Yeah.
And I think that we've all been blessed with that inside each other. So yes, in that sense, I do believe it. But I think that they're here with us today on this plane, that they're not in a next life.
Yeah.
That we're
pushing or pulling strings, and
they're not battling each other. We are basically refereeing the battle of them within us.
Got it.
It's the 2 wolves. There's this old Native American saying that there are 2 wolves inside us.
Yeah.
It's selfishness and love.
Yeah.
And,
a bit of the yin yang.
Yeah. Which one wins? The one you feed.
Yeah.
That's the kind of concept.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Sweet, man. Cool. Well, let me give you a chance to ask me what's the deal with Mormonism. Anything regarding Mormonism that you've wondered about or that's bothered you?
Okay, so I have been jealous of Mormons for some time.
Oh, okay.
I think that the mission trip is one of the most brilliant and brilliant ways to knit a community together.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so in any community, it doesn't have to be. And I just wanted to know, are you still like best friends with the person that you went on the trip with? Are you guys calling each other all the time?
So that might be one misconception. We're not sent in pairs that we stay together for the 2 years.
What? It's not like a buddy cop movie the whole time?
No, man. No.
What were the stints like?
What were the what?
Stints. How many different partners did you have?
Yeah, it varied. And we call them companions to avoid any confusion in today's vernacular in particular. Sure. But I had, let me think, 7. I think I had 7 different companions over the 2 years. Sort of averaged out to, or maybe 6. It was like 4 months. It was 6. I had 6 companions, and it averaged out to about 4 months each companion.
Wow. And do you have relationships with how many of them now?
Man, I keep in touch with, what, 3, 4. There were also guys that I got to know that I was not paired with, but there's a whole sort of bureaucracy with any religion, and on the mission, it is maybe somewhat amplified because you're a young man out basically unsupervised other than by your peers, which is a very interesting concept too. So we are put in districts, little groups that kind of keep track of each other. Yeah. And so there are people that I knew and served around and with in a district that I also keep in touch with. Not just companions. Yeah. But I'm in touch with four or five of those.
And did you, so should I be as lustful as I am for this program to be released nationwide? Are you saying that I should pump the brakes a little bit on how excited I am about the idea of?
Well, I mean, what about the mission experience do you wish you had?
Well, I did a program called City Year, in which I got to go into communities that I didn't grow up in, with a team, 4 or 5 people, and we were put in a school, and we get small group lessons. And I'm still friends with all those people, and that was one of the most enriching experiences of my life. It got me to be way less of an
sure.
Working with kids is really good for that, making you less of an
yeah,
or more of an. You're gonna go one way or another.
Yeah,
you're gonna go one way or the other.
And I think the mission experience is very similar in that aspect,
right?
I mean, I found it very fulfilling. I know people who did not find it fulfilling and who it was actually detrimental to their faith, given the experiences that they had and the choices they made and how they interpreted and viewed those experiences. I think the mission amplifies whatever you have going into it. It certainly is valuable to go somewhere else, whether it's, to a different country or not, just to get out of your bubble, always beneficial. And to be focused on service, always beneficial. Those two things are great. I mean, I think everybody should do that, right? If we could implement that sort of in like a Coast Guard or National Guard capacity, might be beneficial for our country. Like Korea, South Korea does this.
There's a couple candidates who are floating the idea of some sort of national service program in exchange for college tuition, stuff like that I thought were great.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
But it's also to be focused on your faith, right? And to build your testimony about the faith and about your relationship with God. I don't know. I mean, I think it would benefit everybody, but I don't think everybody would necessarily benefit from that kind of focus.
No. I heard that Mormons have a game night once a week. Is this true? Like almost all Mormon families have game night once a week.
I mean, so when I was growing up, it's called family home evening is the technical term for it. Yeah. And that still happens, right? I mean, now during COVID times, it's every night, man. We're partying every night together as a family.
Jealous of that too. I can't convince my roommates to play board games with me. They don't want to do it.
Well,
I floated every board game out. They didn't want to do it. Just poker.
Unbelievable. Well, see, and my wife hates board games. I personally love board games, but my wife hates them. So, maybe if just your girlfriend like board games.
She likes poker.
Well, maybe it's a poker family. We're going to be a poker family.
We're going to be a poker family. That's perfectly fine. That's perfect.
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. Make it strip poker. Make it fun.
No. We play for real cold hard cash. Getting people to Venmo you in these times, though, when they've just lost a poker game to you, is very difficult.
Yeah.
What can you threaten?
Nothing. Right?
You're not going to see them. They don't have to worry about the social disgrace. It's very difficult.
Yeah. In fact, you shouldn't see them, right? If you did see them, a pox upon you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, Zach, thank you so much for joining me, man. We got to wrap up, but I want to give you a chance to finish that thought you had and then plug whatever it is you want to plug.
How much toilet paper do you have?
Sufficient for our needs. We've got, I think, we do not hoard it. We actually have it on an Amazon subscription. So hopefully we'll see if we get it in May is our next delivery. We'll see.
Nice. I do want to plug one thing. If you have the ability, please go to Amazon, watch Miss Maisel, The Marvelous Miss Maisel. It's tremendous. It's tremendous. It'll
Now,
make you follow your dreams.
Did you like Gilmore Girls too, or no?
No. But I did. No. I made out with the producer of One Tree Hill. I did not make out with the producer of Gilmore Girls. Sorry.
Oh, well, yeah, unbelievable.
So,
but you didn't watch the show. If
No.
you don't make out with someone involved with the show, you don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
So who are you making out with in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Zach?
Thanks so much for having me on your show, Seth.
It's always a pleasure. Zach, you're such a fun guy. Thank you for doing this, having this
conversation.
No,
of course. This is awesome. I really appreciate it, and thank you, and have a lovely, lovely hunker.
Thank you. You too. Best of luck.
Bye.